The device was attached to a comfortable waistband and looked, for better or worse, like a fanny pack. She paused. It wasn't like she needed it, but it would be nice to have it on hand. Deciding, she snatched it up and strapped it around her waist. She adjusted her t-shirt to fall over it, then headed down the stairs, through the lobby, and out the door. The sun had already sunk below the hills between headquarters and the ocean, leaving the sky in a pale twilight with only a few first stars. Her hand strayed to the exo-armor's activation button. While a quick run through the winding back roads of Camp Pendleton would be nice, a run along the Pacific Ocean would be nicer. If she used her exo-armor, she could be at the beach in 5 minutes. No reason not to. She pushed the button. With a series of pleasing clicks and whirs, the exo-armor slid over her body as easily as cat's claws leaving their sheaths. The helmet visor snapped over her eyes, and gauntlets grew over her hands, still leaving her fingertips and palms free. A smile crossed her face. After her parents had paid for the genetic upgrade that granted her superpowers, she'd hoped and prayed she'd develop flying as well as speed, agility, and strength. Several attempts had proven that she'd missed out on that one, but she'd never stopped envying flying-type sables and the freedom they had in the open skies. When Prism had approached the team asking for volunteers to go through the flight training program, Tanvi threatened to fight anyone if they tried to stop her from being the chosen one. The guys had backed down immediately. Now she flexed her toes downward, activating the sensors that controlled the suit's lower thrusters, and clenched her hands to engage the wrist thrusters. The suit hummed to life, launching her into the sky. She crowed with delight as the ground fell away beneath her. Air rushed by her as she arched over the dry hills of Camp Pendleton. Ahead, the smooth expanse of the Pacific Ocean called to her. She could smell the crisp salt air already. Not wanting to stop flying too soon, she banked to the south and followed the coastline for several minutes before settling on an empty stretch of beach somewhere south of base. She hovered for a moment, a few feet above the sand, before hitting the deactivation button. Her suit telescoped into the belt pack. With a thump, she dropped into the sand. She shook her head to get her hair in place before breaking into a sprint. She went at full speed for a few minutes, but her velocity blurred the view. Wanting to enjoy the evening, she skidded to a halt, sending sand flying, then continued at a more leisurely pace. Tanvi jogged along the shoreline. It was a beautiful night, with a cool breeze coming off the ocean, perfumed with the scent of salt water. The sun hovered right above the water, streaking the sky with oranges and lavenders. A series of beach houses overlooked the water here, mission-style stucco homes as well as rustic A-frames, all super nice and probably ridiculously expensive. Well-lit picture windows revealed luxurious interiors with big screen TVs and fancy exercise machines facing the water. Nice digs. She laughed quietly to herself. She wiped her hand across her forehead. Maybe she should turn back and run the other way. Before she could decide, the lights in the houses all blinked out. She paused. That was odd. Had something taken down the power? As she watched, a figure rose from behind one of the homes and landed on the roof of the largest of the beach houses. Tanvi froze. Even from a distance, she could tell the figure was human. A flying human could only mean one thing. Her throat tightened. Could Dosa be running some sort of operation in this area? They shouldn't be. While she'd run a good distance, she hadn't gone nearly far enough to be out of her own team's jurisdiction. Dosa sables didn't enter each other's turf without giving fair warning. Too easy for dangerous misunderstandings to happen with sables stepping on other sables' feet. Still, flying types were rare. The chances of a flying-type villain being in the area was less likely than Dosa having gotten some communications crossed. Thankfully, Dosa had a set channel for contacting other on-duty Dosa members. She could access it from her exo-armor. Reaching down, she pushed the button to trigger her armor. It snapped into place, and her energy increased in response, ready for action. She tapped a button on the side of her visor to activate the comm channel. All active Dosa agents in the Oceanside area, report in. This is Tanvi Anand, a.k.a. Forte. Please apprise of any Dosa operations in my immediate vicinity. The channel stayed silent except for the gentle buzz of static. I repeat, any Dosa-approved operations. The unknown sable leaped from the roof, then accelerated downwards. A distant crash echoed over the beach. Tanvi winced at what had to be a bone-cracking collision before the sable disappeared into the house. Hell with it. Tanvi clenched her hands to trigger her thrusters and rocketed off the beach. Whoever this sable was, he or she had interrupted the wrong hero's workout.